Yeah, Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep. Go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laughs in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is going on, my late night owls? Of course, I know I'm a little late. I'm on CP time at 8. Just make sure you hit that alert button every time you subscribe to I.O.W. Sports. So when I go live, it lets you know. Because, you know, I be on CP time. I ain't going to cap with y'all. All right. But I told you I'm trying to get your schedule down to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm going to give it to you. You know, Ma gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. Ma gonna give it to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm gonna try to give it to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the late night owl show. Because I'm gonna try to be a man of my word. I'm gonna try to stick to the double C's in podcasting. That is consistency and content. I got the content part down. I ain't worried about that. I need to work on the consistency part. All right, especially being on time and stop being on CP time. My bad, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in with your boy, I.O.W. Sports Network, I.O.W. Sports Show, Late Night Owl Edition, episode 412 in the building. Of course, your boy, Wildcard Mar. Hey, it is still technically 9/11 on the West Coast. I know on the East Coast Central Time, we have already hit that threshold of Thursday, but I do want to say this, remembering 9/11. For those who have been around long enough, we know exactly where the hell we were when 9/11 happened. All right, we remember it like always. Hey, shout out to my guys over there, Man Down Sports. Shout out my brothers over there, Mel, Zoe, Chris, Eric, Corey, Kaz. If he ever decides to come back, Dom. The whole crew over there. Shout out to Man Now Sports. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with them. But no, remembering 9/11 for real. I know where a lot of people, who are of age, they know exactly where they were when that situation happened. I remember it to a T. I was a freshman at Valley Southwoods in West Des Moines, Iowa, and they actually separate the freshmen from the sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school. So it's called Valley Southwoods High School instead of, it's still part of Valley High School, but it's separated. But regardless, I was in my science class with Mr. Kluver, who happened to also be my assistant head coach of my freshman football team. And we were outside for some reason. It was still relatively nice outside in West Des Moines, Iowa. We were outside doing some kind of science project. We come in, he had the TVs on, and I saw the second plane go into the building. And I thought it was a movie. I really did. I thought it was some type of crazy movie because, first plane had already hit. And then, a few minutes later, the second plane had hit. And then you see the plane go down in Pennsylvania. And you see the other plane hit the Pentagon. I thought it was a movie. I ain't gonna cap. I was like, this can't be real. It was scary. As a 14-year-old kid, I had no idea what the hell was going on. That's why I thought it was a movie. Of course, all the speculation happened. Who did it? What happened? Why they did it? And it was just a crazy time. But then, of course, that was, pushed back some of the baseball games, pushed back some of the football games. I remember a lot of memorials went on in the NFL and baseball at that point in time. It was in some of the sports that was going on at that time. Here's what I will say. Sports did bring a sense of distraction for America at that point in time, because that was just very devastating situation that had happened. But let's kind of talk about the actual social part. That was probably the most unified United States that probably ever been. Literally. It's called United States, but I swear we probably the most divided country in the world. But during the time of 9/11, we were united. Probably the most united the United States has ever been in its history of being a country. And, obviously we come off the heels of that debate, which caused more divisiveness in this country. We come off the heels of the Tyreek Hill situation, which adds more divisiveness to the country. All I'm asking for is that we can get back to how united the United States were after 9/11 happened. Let's not keep using tragedies, bad instances, situations that has many of casualties to make us come together. All right, we shouldn't have to have tragedies to make us united in United States. All right, I'm just saying that. We all love sports, don't we? We all love money. We all love certain things. There's a lot of commonality that we have as individuals in this country. Like, let's let those be the foundation to keep us united. That's all I'm asking. But definitely, this is crazy. That it's almost 13 years. No, more than that. That was 2001. I know I need to get my math right. 23 years. Wow. It's been 23 years since that devastating day. That is crazy. A day that I will never forget, a day that a lot of Americans will never forget. It comes up every year, obviously, but it's something that we will never forget. But let's move on, because I want to spend tonight's show talking about some of the headlines for week 2 of the NFL world. All right. It's going to be, I'll have some audio for some things. We'll go through game by game. Look, this is something that I just kind of feel, what are some of the headlines going into these certain games, and things to look out for, things you might want to pay attention to as a fantasy owner as well. But, we're going to kick it off with, obviously, Thursday night's game that's kicking off week 2 of NFL action. You got Buffalo going to Miami, and some of the things that are in the headlines for that game. So here's what I was thinking about on this one. Let's start with the Buffalo side of things. All right. Buffalo Bills, you got to show me that you have more than Josh Allen. I'm being serious. I'm not meaning that as a Kansas City Chief fan who doesn't like the Buffalo Bills. I'm not saying that as a rival of the AFC team. No. I'm just saying that as a football fan and a content creator, I need to see somebody that can make some plays not named Josh Allen. Because those who saw what happened last week, you saw literally a Herculean, out-of-body experience, some type of performance that Josh Allen had to perform in order to beat the Arizona Cardinals team, who is really not that good. They haven't been good in recent time, and the Buffalo Bills struggle with them. I'm just being honest. It literally took a out-of-body experience to get a 34-28 victory for Josh Allen. Now, to Josh Allen's credit, this is what he does. 18 for 23. That was very efficient. 232 yards, 2 TDs. That's Josh Allen type football. That's good quarterback play. It really is. But he threw in 9 carries, 39 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So you got 4 touchdowns from him. Other than that, you got obviously the 2 touchdowns he did throw to Khalil Shakir and Mac Hollins. But here's the thing. I'm looking at Stephon Diggs gets 2 touchdowns in Houston and contributes very well. Is there going to be a point in time that you're going to miss Stephon Diggs? They can downplay all they want. They're not going to miss Stephon Diggs. I had that hard to believe. I just do. I just think that at some point in time, you're going to need that guy that you're going to want to get the football to. And I think Stephon Diggs will be missed at some point in time. I like Keon Coleman, the rookie. But he gets 5 targets, only gets 4 catches for 51 yards. Okay performance for his rookie debut, but nothing crazy. All right. James Cook, he only gets 3.7 yards a carry. He got 19 carries for 71 yards. His longest run was for 15. That's okay. That's pretty solid performance. Wait, my thing is with Buffalo Bills is you should have gotten James Cook, let him cook, all pun intended. Because let's be honest, besides Josh Allen, James Cook is probably the only offensive threat that I see on the Buffalo Bills roster. I'm just being serious. Go look at that wide receiver room. Don't nobody scare me. That's why you got to ask that question. Are they going to miss Stephon Diggs? Ain't nobody in that wide receiver room that says, oh, I gotta cover that guy. Double him. Bracket. Nope. Nah, not at all. Not at all. So that's what I'm looking for from the Bills side of this matchup. But I'm also on this side of the matchup for the Miami Dolphins is, man, you got to figure out what's going on with your running back room. What's going on? Devon A-Chain, he's questionable. Raheem Mostert, he's already ruled out for that Thursday night game. So when you see things like this, for fantasy purpose, if you got one of those guys, whether Mostert or Devon A-Chain, and you need you a running back, it's probably not a bad idea to go pick up Jeff Wilson Jr., who's on that depth chart. He'll probably get a lot more touches this game than he probably would have seen last week or probably any other game, with the fact that Devon A-Chain is already questionable and Raheem Mostert is already ruled out. So you already have early running back issues with the Dolphins. That doesn't bode well. Reason why that doesn't bode well is because that makes your offense one-dimensional. And as much as I respect Tua, as much as I think that there's times that he does play good football, I don't know if I'm ready to rely on him to go win us the football games yet. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Me personally, if I was a coach, I don't know if I'm ready to say that I can 100% fully trust that I can go win a football game being one-dimensional off of Tua's arm. I don't think that bodes well for the Miami Dolphins. I might end up. I originally picked Miami. I might switch my pick. I just might, because I'm not ready to to be sold on that. Winning a game off of Tua's arm is there. Here's another thing I'm looking out for. And that whole organization, and they move past what happened before Sunday's game. They got to move past it. All right. It happened Sunday. They had to, block it out and play. They got the W. I think they kind of weighed down on them for a little bit, and then next you know, Tyreek breaks out for an 80-yard TD. I also think that after everything came out Monday with the footage and all that stuff, and of course it was a polarizing topic that a lot of people had talked about. At some point in time, they got to move past that situation and focus more on football. They can't continue to let what happened Sunday morning linger on. All right, it already happened. Everybody has said their piece. The footage has came out, and everybody has said their piece again. You, as a team, got to focus on football and move past that. If that is going to still be something in the back of their minds, you could possibly see Buffalo go in and win this game off the fact that Miami is not focused. So they got to move past that. They really do. Baltimore and Raiders. Raiders are not a good team. They're not. There's no headlines for that. They are just not a good team. They went out there, and the most that they did last week against the Chargers was put up a fist fight, and that was it. They know how to fight. Yeah. If there's a team you want to go into a dark alley with and feel safe, have the Raiders behind you. They'll fight. That's as bad as I got for you. They will fight. That's about as good as it gets. They gotta do better. They gotta show up better. Obviously, there was some questions about Antonio Pierce doing the putting it on the 4th and 1. And he stood by it. That's his choice. But there's going to be questions about that, because then now it looks like, are you really capable of being a head coach now? They took the interim tag off of you. Now you got to prove that you can actually be a coach. Things of that nature are going to be questioned about him. They're going to ask. When it comes to the Ravens, hey, you played a great game last Thursday against the Chiefs. In my opinion, because the Chiefs got the door open for you, you could have won that game. Probably should have. Your toe was a little bit too big, Isaiah Likely. Lamar Jackson has to make a couple of those throws. And, you got an issue. You got an offensive line issue. You got to make sure that you can hold off a pass rush. And that doesn't help, because you went from Chris Jones last week to Max Crosby this week. Max Crosby is very disruptive. He will put a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson, and he will see if you have fixed those issues on your offensive line or not. That's just a fact. If you didn't, you'll see a lot of Max Crosby in the backfield, and he's more agile. And I'm willing enough to admit that I think he's more agile than Chris Jones. So he might be able to possibly get a little bit more sacks than Chris Jones. Chris got the sack fumble, forced fumble last week. But I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. Both are disruptive, but Max Crosby is no slouch. He's pretty agile. And don't be surprised if he ends up with a few 2-3 sacks in this game. And that is if Baltimore did not fix their offensive line issues. You do got an offensive line issue. You got to get it fixed. I kind of think that contributed to the fact that you weren't able to get Derrick Henry into rhythm. You weren't able to maximize Derrick Henry in that first game against the Chiefs, and it kind of showed. And you had a lack of ability to hold back the pass rush. Albeit Chris Jones was on that other side. I get it, but you got to do better. Cleveland Browns going to Jacksonville. So Cleveland, you're going to have to make a decision. I laid it out for you the other night. I would sit Deshaun Watson. He's too rusty. His game just looks terrible. You have 13 games of sample work of him in a Browns uniform, and none of it's good. Okay, you got the one comeback win against Cleveland, but he had to gut that out, and then next thing you know, he was hurt for the rest of the season. But besides that, so you got one. Okay, you got a half. You got 2 quarters of good film, and you got 12 and a half games worth of just putrid football from Deshaun Watson. He costs way too much money. Y'all stood behind him between 25 plus civil suits of sexual assault. Apparently, there's another one that just popped up on Monday, and y'all supported him enough. I broke down the numbers again. There's $27.9 million cap hit this year. There's $73 million next year, and then $73 million after that. If you're going to bench him, do it now. Do it now, because you can justify of the 12 and a half quarters or the 12 and a half games of film that he has in a Browns uniform. None of it is good. And I can justify sitting $27.9 million on the bench and letting Jameis take the reins. I trust Jameis Winston a lot more right now than I do Deshaun Watson. Point blank, period. Deshaun Watson is not playing good football at all. He hasn't in the Browns uniform. He has 12 and a half games with a putrid tape. Only 2 quarters mattered when he came back against Baltimore last year, and it all went for nothing because he ended up getting hurt. And you did well with Joe Flacco with the same offense. With the lack of Nick Chubb, who was already hurt, players in and out of the lineup, and Joe Flacco took out to the playoff. All I'm saying is I do not trust Deshaun Watson quarterback in my team. He costs way too much. But if you're going to bench him, if you're going to sit him, you better do it now, because you can justify sitting $27.9 million over $73 million for the next 2 years. You can't do it. And you damn sure can't cut him, because you can't take $200+ million in cap hit. You can't take $173 million+ in cap hit, and you can't take $100 million+ cap hit over the next 3 years. You can't do it. You better sit his ass down this year and let Jameis Winston salvage the rest of your season. I just can't trust Deshaun Watson. On to Jacksonville. You got to learn how to finish games. You had Miami. You had them. You had him in the bag. You fumbled. ATN got punched. Got the peanut punch as he was going into the end zone. That changed the whole momentum of the game. Literally after that, you couldn't do nothing. You had that game. You had it. Jacksonville, you got to finish games. Can't have the turnovers. Surprisingly, it really wasn't Trevor Lawrence this time having the turnovers, who I always bash about being a turnover machine. That was a bad turnover from Etienne. You got to figure out how to make sure you got the football going in the end zone, and you increase your lead. That was a 14-point swing. The moment you fumbled, they got a touchback, and next thing you know, 80 yards to Tyreek Hill changed the whole momentum of that game. Jacksonville, you got to finish the games. Got to finish the games. New York Jets, Tennessee. I'm going to start with Tennessee first. You better figure out your quarterback situation. I don't think Will Levis is it. Will he get better? Possibly. Will he play better? Possibly. But guess what? He did not go up against a good defense last week in Chicago, and he gave the game away. Gave it away. He was playing Santa Claus in September. Turnover. Turnover. Of course, they got a block punt scored on that too. That's not necessarily his fault, but the offense couldn't get going, so you punt it deep in your territory. So maybe you do play a cause in that somehow because you couldn't get the ball moving. But regardless, Will Levis gave that game to the Chicago Bears after being up 17-0. You got to figure out a way to either get Taji Spears involved. Get your other running backs involved. You better figure out something. It is not time to let the game stand on the shoulders of Will Levis quite yet. He showed enough last week that he's not ready to be the closer of your game because he gave that game away. You better figure it out, or you're going to be stuck in the same situation where you're going to have to go find you a quarterback again. I think it's a make or break year this year for Will Levis. Oh, my wild card has only been just a little bit of time. I don't give a damn. It is, you better perform and you better make it happen because they already got rid of Malik Willis, who they drafted the year before you. So the organization has already said this is your team. They didn't keep Ryan Tannehill. They have already told Will Levis that this is your franchise, but you keep giving them reasons to go look for another quarterback because you haven't solidified that position. You haven't made your stamp on that team and say, this is my team. Get on my back and let's ride. Will Levis has to play better, period. Can't give away games. Not in the NFL. You want to compete in the AFC South? You can't give away games to Chicago. You want to compete in the AFC Championship Conference? You want to compete in the AFC Conference? You can't give away games like you just did to Chicago. Can't do it. On the Jets side of the thing, y'all gotta stop with the hype. I'm talking about Jets fans, lovers of Jets, putting all this pressure on the Jets. That, well, man, we got the best roster I've ever seen. They can go match up roster for roster, and they can be a Super Bowl caliber team. Shut the hell up. Y'all are keep hyping up a team that is a perennial loser. And you know it. You know it. I know you're excited. I know you're amped up, but you got to start being realistic. This team was touted as a Super Bowl contender. They went up against a Super Bowl contender, and guess what? They didn't match up. They didn't measure up. Not good. They didn't look like they belonged. Not at all. They got ran out. They got beat up. Got that ass whooped. All right? Aaron Rodgers really didn't look that bad, in my opinion. That throw he threw down the seam to Alan Lazard, that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. He got a free play. That was, he still got that. He does look sluggish, that ACL or that Achilles. You could tell his mobility ain't like that like it was. He's 40. You can tell. So if you get pressure on him, I was told that the offensive line was improved. I was told that as a Super Bowl caliber defense, well, you can't play like that against a Super Bowl caliber team. You look like you didn't belong. What happened to that good defense? Oh, okay. So Jets, stop listening to the noise of your fans. Stop listening to that unrealistic hype of your peoples trying to hype y'all up that y'all Super Bowl caliber. No, y'all not. Y'all are a perennial loser. Y'all went from 4-13 to 7-10 and 7-10. Y'all better have more realistic expectations. Have better yet, shut all that noise out in New York and play football. Y'all should beat the Titans. Y'all are better than them. If y'all lose to the Titans, I don't want to hear another damn word about we a Super Bowl caliber team. Nothing. I don't want to hear shit about the Jets if y'all lose to Tennessee. Don't you say a damn word. Not another Super Bowl nothing. Only thing Super Bowl related y'all gonna be doing if y'all lose to the Titans is asking for Super Bowl packages while you on vacation to go to New Orleans. That's the only thing relatively Super Bowl-ish that y'all should talk about. What kind of packages can we afford? Huh? How close can we get to the field? Because you're going to end up being a spectator if y'all play like y'all did against San Francisco against the Titans. You're going to lose. So you better get right. Next up, San Francisco, Minnesota. Hey, Minnesota got a win. It was against the Giants. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Sam Darnold, you was just in San Francisco. If you were smart, you would go to your defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, and say, hey, man, this is what Kyle Shanahan likes to do. Now, I know that Minnesota beat San Francisco last year in Minnesota, and that was the week after they lost to Cleveland, and they had some injuries. But I don't think they get it this year. Only person that they might miss is Christian McCaffrey. And by the looks of it, on Monday, they don't need Christian McCaffrey right now. Jordan, I always forget his name. Jordan Mason did such a great job from Georgia Tech that I would rest Christian McCaffrey with a calf strain, because you don't want that turn into an Achilles injury. I would rest him as long as Jordan Mason is still being productive. What's the point of rushing him back? What's the point? So as this game comes up, Minnesota, you had a great win against the Giants. That was the Giants. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is literally the standard of the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers are, as I said the other night, are still the kings of the NFC until further notice. And they have found yet another running back that was not drafted, had no draft value, had nothing going for him. They pick him up on the roster and say, hey, man, you better get ready. We might be without CMC. Oh, yeah. And you just ran the ball down the damn Jets' throat, and I expect the same thing this Sunday against the Vikings. Expect a heavy dose of Jordan Mason again, because why the hell not? He has nothing to lose. San Francisco has nothing to lose. Even if you don't get him going, oh, I still got Debo. Oh, I still got Brandon Ayuk. Oh, I still got George Kittle. Don't forget, they still have probably one of the better fullbacks. I know a lot of teams don't have a fullback, but Kyle Juszczyk is used in a very all types of ways down there that he can still be productive. They still have the best left tackle in Trent Williams in the game. So, look, I'm not expecting a blowout. I'm expecting a competitive game, but I do not see a repeat of last year where Minnesota caught San Francisco reeling after a bad loss to Cleveland. I don't think that happens. Minnesota, you had a great win in week 1. These ain't the Giants. This is the total opposite end of the spectrum. You went from the trashiest team in the NFC to the best team in the NFC in a matter of 2 weeks, and you will see the difference without a doubt. Next game, Chargers versus Carolina. Man, Jim Harbaugh is going to go 2-0. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. All right? Jim Harbaugh is going to start his another coaching tour in the NFL, his second. 2-0. All right? The Chargers. I'll be honest. As I had recapped that game against the Raiders, it was a boring game. I will say this. I am surprised on how productive J.K. Dobbins is. I'm not surprised that he got the amount of carries he got, because Jim Harbaugh is a run-first type of coach. I'm just surprised on how good he looked, knowing that this guy has struggled the last 2 years to stay healthy. J.K. looks good. Man. The Baltimore Ravens are like, that's the J.K. we drafted. We just couldn't get him healthy here. But it looks like the Chargers literally got the J.K. that the Baltimore Ravens drafted. And if he stays healthy, wow. Because you got to remember that the Chargers aren't breaking the bank for J.K. Dobbins right now. But if he produces, stays healthy, boy, they got a bargain. It makes a moving on from Austin Eckler, it makes that pain, it makes it more easier. It makes it more like, yeah, with this change in offense, we're okay. We're okay. That kind of does suck for Justin Herbert, because you know that guy wants to throw that pill, man. There's going to be some adjustment for Justin Herbert where you're not going to be dropping back 45 times, 50 times. That's not going to happen in a Jim Harbaugh offense. If he's dropping back 50 times, it's because you're probably behind. You need to catch up. That's probably the only time Justin Herbert will have that many passing attempts. It's because they're already losing and they need to make up ground. That's about it. But I don't see Justin Herbert running that type of offense no more where he's going to be dropping back so many times. It's just not Jim Harbaugh's style. It's just not. And what's to say about Carolina? Well, it's not too much. Bryce Young, I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you. If there was some way, somehow, that old wild card mark can pluck you out of Carolina and put you in a better situation that you can thrive, I would do it for you, buddy. If I could put you, you know, at this point, you being a backup in Kansas City is a better situation than you being a starter in Carolina. If I could do anything for you to just change your scenery and put you somewhere where you have a better chance to flourish as a quarterback, I would love to do that for you, my brother, but I ain't got that kind of juice. Sorry. You kind of stuck in the wasteland down there. If it makes anything better for you, Bryce Young, I used to live in Charlotte. All right. You get to have your pick of all kind of beautiful women down there. I mean, there's a multitude of beautiful women down in Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Go out. Go to the Valentine area. There's some places out there. There's some nice little honeys out there. You can go to South Park area. There's some beautiful ladies out in that area. You know, stay away from Betty Sport. I don't think you survive on that street. Stay away from Betty Sport. You can go to Lake Norman over in that area. Lake Wiley in that area. You know, hey, there's beautiful women south end. Oh my gosh. Come on. Hey, Yuppie Central. Hey, there are so many places for you to enjoy the city. So my suggestion for you, Bryce Young, is enjoy Charlotte, North Carolina. You're young. You're a handsome fella. I'm man enough and secure in myself to say you're a handsome fella. Pause. I'm not, no shame. Go enjoy Charlotte, because you're not going to enjoy this season, just like you didn't enjoy your rookie season. You play for a very piss-poor, managed, trash-ass football team. David Tepper should be ashamed of himself of being an owner who doesn't know how to get the hell out the way and hire the right football people. All right? He didn't learn nothing being a part owner in Pittsburgh on how to successfully run a franchise. I don't know how he didn't learn nothing. All right? So, Bryce, it's going to be a long season. Purchase some Epsom salt. You're going to need that. You're going to have to soak every Monday, every Friday if you play on a Thursday, on a Sunday if you play on a Saturday. Invest in some Epsom salt, all right? Some I.O.W, Tylenol, whatever helps you, help your headaches, because you're going to have plenty of those. Make sure you wear your butt pad too. I know some quarterbacks don't like to wear them no more. You might want to wear yours because you're going to end up on your derriere a lot this year. But hey, like I said, the city's beautiful. A lot of beautiful women in there. Enjoy the city. You're not going to enjoy playing football for the Panthers. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Seattle, New England. This is an interesting matchup because I know New England has zero offense. They're pretty, lackluster at offense. Right? There ain't much popping on the offensive side of the football for New England. Come on. That's a wide receiver purgatory. If you're a wide receiver, you don't go to New England. Unless they're willing to pay you, of course. But you still, you're going to feel like Devontae Adams. I'm getting all this money, but ain't nothing really popping. Here's the thing. I was kind of surprised on how dominant that defense was for New England last week. All granted, it was going against Cincinnati, who always starts slow. But regardless, that defense looks for real. I think that defense is going to keep them in a lot of games this year. Seattle, on the other hand, they were playing with Denver a little bit. They didn't necessarily have to. You better find a way to get. You got to find a way to get these. I don't get how you don't have so much explosive offense with the pieces that you got. This offense will be scoring 30 plus points each week. I don't understand how do you have a solid tight end in Noah Fant? I know he's questionable, but still a solid tight end. I don't know how you have Kenneth Walker III, Jackson Smith Njigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. On paper, that's a 30-plus point a game type of offense. So you got to figure it out. I don't know why Geno against Denver only has 171 yards of passing. Figure it out. Unfortunately, I don't like the matchup that you got with New England. They play great defense. I don't know which way to go on that quite yet on picking that game, but I will say this. New England is going to play that game tough. This is a toss-up game for me. I don't know which way I'm going to go about Sunday before the kickoff, 12 o'clock my time. I'll come up with an answer on who I think should win this. Some of those headlines going into that, I think this is going to be a very competitive game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. Obviously, that offense with Seattle, they got to figure out how to get firing. And then, of course, there's no offense on New England. But I think it'll be a very close game. Next up, New Orleans in Dallas. So here's my thing about New Orleans. Did we see that explosion of offense just because you were playing the Panthers? Just help me out. Because we haven't seen a lot of positives with Derek Carr since he wore in the Saints uniform. Well, all of a sudden, you explode for all those points last week with 47 points against the shitty Panthers. That's fine. You got a better team in Dallas, who, by the way, under Mike Zimmer, looks like that defense is going to help contribute a little bit more in the back half of last year. I get it. They went against a very piss-poor quarterback, and Deshaun Watson last week made him look Deshaun Watson is in the last 12 half games that he's been looking in a Browns uniform. But we'll see what happens with that. Dallas, don't drop the ball. And what I mean is you had a good win against Cleveland in Cleveland. You got your home opener. Make your fans worthy of spending all that money. Make it worth their while. Don't drop an egg. Because I still got questions about New Orleans. I think the New Orleans defense is pretty solid, so there will be a challenge for Dak. So my question is for Dak, when you play these tougher defenses, I need you to up your game. You can't be pedestrian. You're very pedestrian last week against Cleveland. Cleveland does have a solid defense. Now you're going up against the New Orleans defense. Don't be pedestrian again. Because then you're going to have the people like me who are going to keep questioning why you are worth $60 million a year. Just saying. Don't go out there and be looking very pedestrian. Because I will come back on this son bitch on Monday and be like, boy, yeah, $60 million is a lot to pay for mediocrity. That's some expensive mediocrity play. Don't make me come on here on Monday and say that same shit back. I will do it without a heartbeat. Those who watch my content know good and damn well I will come on here and say that shit with no problem at all, That you need to prove that you're worth $60 million a year. You can't keep being pedestrian against good defenses. New Orleans had a good defense. Cleveland had a good defense. You look very pedestrian. Don't do that again for 2 weeks in a row. Just saying. Giants, Washington. Man, this matchup right here. Woo! Better take a no dose. That's all I can say. That's the headline for this game. Don't take a no dose. Giants are trash. Washington is not too far off. Slightly better. That's all I got. I trust Jaden Daniels a lot more than I trust Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones should be ashamed of that. He's been in the league for a few years. Jaden Daniels is a rookie. I trust the rookie more than Daniel Penny. I ain't calling that man Daniel Dimes. I know, I get it, Giants fan. Your offensive line sucks. Well, that's your fault because you didn't invest. You poured in a shit ton of money on your defense. You didn't keep your most explosive offensive player. This is what you get. Excuse me. This is what you get. Better keep your no-dos if you're watching this game. Now, this next matchup might be the matchup of the week. Tampa Bay going into Detroit. Let me give. I'm not a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I got to give the man his props. He's been playing good football since he's been in the Buccaneers uniform. Been playing great football. Took them to the playoffs. They got to the second round. Beat the Eagles in the first round in the wild card. Just came up short just a little bit. They was in a dogfight with Detroit. Now they got them again in the regular season. Unfortunately, as good as Baker is, I just think that Detroit's just a better team. They are. I like what they're doing. And they're finally getting, and I was kind of irritated about this because I left them on the bench on my fantasy team last week. They're getting Jameson Williams involved more and more. They're starting to take the training wheels off of him. And that boy's electric. He's electric. He could have gave me 30 points of fantasy points, but he was sitting on the bench, along with the other 20 points that Xavier Worthy got. So there was 50 points that I left on the bench. I know, silly me. But regardless, Jameson Williams is electric. Detroit is finally using him. That's an electric offense. And Amon-Ra St. Brown really didn't have much of an impact last week against the Rams. So I don't expect that to happen more often. But the fact that you got Williams starting to get acclimated, that gives you more weapons for Jared Goff. The defense didn't do too bad. They still got to improve on certain things. But hey, if you're going to be in shootouts, I trust that offense and Ben Johnson and the weapons that they got on that offense. I think that Detroit gets this game. Indianapolis Colts at Green Bay. I'm going to start with Green Bay Packers. Find a way to keep the ship afloat. Don't take on too much water with Jordan Love out. Malik Willis, I'm not sure what he will do. I like the kid. I want him to succeed. I'm hoping he can. I really do. I kind of thought he got a raw deal in Tennessee, and looking at the fact that Will Levis hasn't, in my eyes, 100% secured that job as that this is his team, that the Titans is his team. At some point in time, I probably would have looked at putting Malik Willis in as a starter in Tennessee. But now, due to injury, he gets a chance to be the starter in Green Bay. I just hope that he can play well. I really do. Because I hope the kids can succeed. On the defensive side, I don't know what's going on with the Packers defense. Y'all need to find out how the hell that 2010 team was made up on defense and recreated, because they gave up the cheeks against Philly, especially in that secondary. Was just getting just torched. So, yeah, they got to figure out things on defense, in my opinion. Indianapolis, look, say what you want about the Colts. I think that's a good team. I really do. Anthony Richardson, there's two things he has to show. Durability and consistency. DNC. Durability and consistency. If he can prove to those two things, boy, do the Colts got a football team on their hands. I liked how their defense was flying. They didn't let the Texans kind of blow out the game, but they weren't able to shut down that offense when it mattered. Weren't able to get the fourth down or the third down and fourth down stops when the Texans went for it to kind of close out the game. They got to figure that out, but they put up a great effort. And then on offense, like I said, Anthony Richardson, it's on him. Durability and consistency. What a way to throw that bomb down the field after he slipped. That was beautiful. So you can see the talent that he has. He's a freak of nature. Just can stay on the field. Next up, I'm actually going Los Angeles Rams in Arizona. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to pick the Cardinals. And the only reason why is because they gave Buffalo Bills a fit last week in week 1. They got the home opener. But I think they finally get Marvin Harrison involved. That man only had about, 3 or 4 targets last week. What are you doing? Come on. Give Marvin Harrison the damn football. What are we doing? Give him the football. Feed Marvin Harrison Jr. the football. I'm going with Arizona on this point and this point only. The Rams are beat up. Rams are beat up. I mean, they are absolutely beat up. especially on their offensive line. They're missing their whole left side is going to be out that game. Their left tackle and their left guard is going to be out that game. And then also Puka Nacua, he's already on IR. He's going to miss the next 4 weeks. So there's one less weapon for Matthew Stafford. And then, of course, with his whole left side of the offensive line being out, that makes it that much harder for him to stay upright. And seeing is they kind of already had offensive line issues. So I don't trust that the Rams will be able to keep Matthew Stafford upright and have enough offense. I just don't think so. So that might be a slight upset, but that's where I'm rocking with Arizona over the Rams. Next up, Pittsburgh and Denver. Pittsburgh going to Denver. Pittsburgh, man, you better get some offense. I mean, that's it. You better get some offense. I don't know where's the misconnection is at. Whether it's quarterback, offensive line play is kind of shaky. I kind of spoke about Najee Harris the other day. I don't know what's up with that guy. He was too talented at Alabama, but I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting that guy. You're not getting him. I need more production from that guy. I don't know if he's not getting enough of the lanes getting open for him because of the offensive line. I don't know. I need to see better production from Najee Harris. The good thing about Pittsburgh is they always play good damn defense. They still got a damn good defense. The only problem is that if they want to win some games, that defense is going to have to find ways to score. And it's not impossible. TJ Watt is a game wrecker over there. A strip sack, scoop and score, and there you go. There's your points. So they could possibly get that defense to start scoring for them. And because they're going to have to find a way to kind of help that offense, whether it's giving more possessions, give them a short field, or just go ahead and score, help put some points on the board. I don't care if it's Russell Wilson or if it's Justin Fields. That offense is just not clicking quite yet. And it's so funny that they got Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator, who couldn't even damn get the offense going in Atlanta. The hell are y'all thinking? Anyway, another note on Pittsburgh. It looks like they're going to run with Justin Fields. Look, just go ahead and make him the starter for the rest of the season until further notice. The team has already played with him. They've been practicing with him. Make him the number one guy. You're not spending a lot of money on that quarterback position anyway. You're not spending a lot of money for Justin Fields, and you damn sure ain't spending a lot of money for Russell Wilson. Let him have the job until further notice. If you start slacking, you got a serviceable backup to help pick up the slack in Russell Wilson, and he could probably lead the charge. Just go ahead and let Justin be the guy and kind of rule that out and let your team not even think about that, and they can focus on the actual football play. Make that decision, Mike Tomlin. I just think you need to. Denver. Whew. I was told that you're supposed to leave. Yeah, I don't leave in Bo Nix quite yet. He did not look good last week. I know he scored a couple of times, but when it came to actual being a quarterback, not ready. Unfortunately, he's the best quarterback option they got. Who are you going to go to? Zach Wilson? Jarrett Stidham? Yeah. Unfortunately, Bo Nix is the better option. You got a quarterback, so you kind of stuck with Bo Nix. It's going to be some growing pains. I do not like this matchup for Bo Nix. You have TJ Watt in that Pittsburgh Steelers, good defense, Hightower, Haywood up front. Yeah, I do not like this matchup for you. I'm just being honest. That's just it. And then, of course, our Kansas City Chiefs play host to the Cincinnati Bengals. And, man, it's a rivalry, a recent rivalry, to a certain degree. But I will say this. I don't think Joe Burrow gets enough slack, as you would say, a Lamar Jackson or other quarterbacks. They don't give him enough scrutiny. I'm going to play a clip for you because I heard this from James Jones on the facility, and I think he had a valuable point. Let's take a listen.
You should be nervous, and I think it's time to we got to start keeping it real for Joe Burrow. If Lamar Jackson throw that ball and his toe ain't out, it's a lot of ifs. If Jalen Hurts look down the middle of the field and read cover 2 and don't throw it and it ain't, it's a lot of ifs. But them dudes take a lot of heat. Joe Burrow has not been good, man, the last 2 years. And starting off this season, he ain't been good. He was 5-5 last year and then went out with an injury, right? Then they went 4-3 without Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow without top elite wide receivers is average. Ooh. He is. But we keep for real though. But we keep living on the Super Bowl appearance. But we don't live on other stuff for other quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's not playing good football right now. He ain't. Right? We keep putting him up there saying he's better than Josh Allen. He's the number 2 quarterback in football. A lot of people say it. Don't look at me. A lot of people say it. But to be honest with you, the real is he ain't played well the last year and a half. He ain't. You just lost to the Patriots, man. It's a lot of people pick the Patriots. You said the biggest spread, right? It's a lot of people pick the Patriots probably not to win one game this year. And you go out here and lose to the Patriots at home.
I lost 20 on the James.
I don't care if they fumble going in. I don't care none of that. Joe Burrow, this is the New England Patriots, and you're supposed to be the second best quarterback in football. Everybody praising that you're the only one that can challenge Patrick Mahomes and all this. Well, the last year and a half, you can't. You have not been a good quarterback. And if it was any other quarterback, we wouldn't keep saying, oh, man, if this, if that, if that, if this. No, the man got to play better, and he's not. And you should be nervous because I don't know what T. Higgins' hamstring looking like. Tyler Boyd ain't coming back. He on a different team. Joe Mixon just went crazy on the Houston Texans. He ain't coming back. Your offense really at the skill position spots is not really super athletic. It's worse than what you ever had. Now you got to go win these games. And I ain't seen that in the last year and a half for Joe Burrow. So I ain't giving him no more what ifs. I'm nervous, and he got to show up and play some ball, man.
Where would you rank Burrow on your list of quarterback?
I mean, he should be.
Woo-hoo-hoo. James Jones with the heat. No cap protected, though. No cap protected from James Jones on that situation right there. I even gave Joe Burrow some praise. I mean, he's literally the only quarterback to defeat, not named Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes in playoff situations. He's the only guy. Look at the playoff losses for Patrick Mahomes. Lost in the AFC Championship game to the New England Patriots led by Tom Brady. He lost to a Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady. He lost in the AFC Championship game against Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Those only 3 losses he got in the playoffs. That's it. So I even gave Joe Burrow his praise. James Jones brings up an excellent point. The last year and some change hasn't played good football. And now his problem is durability. He's been hurt 2 of his 4 years. Missing games. Significant amount of games. Y'all saw him flexing his wrist against New England. He tries to say it ain't nothing. Bull. I call bull. That doesn't help when you got Chris Jones and the way he was causing havoc against Baltimore. Now you got him this week. Don't forget your offensive line ain't that good. And to James Jones' point, besides Jamar Chase, T. Higgins possibly won't be playing. Joe Mixon no longer there. Mike Gesicki doesn't scare nobody at tight end. That guy just fumbled going into the end zone last week. So Tyler Boyd in Tennessee. So your weaponry has decreased. The offensive line didn't increase in capability of leaving you upright. Just saying, at some point in time, we got to start looking at Joe Burrow a little differently from what he did a couple of years ago, beating Mahomes and going to the Super Bowl. He's about 2-3 years removed from that. Matter of fact, we are about 2 years removed from that. There's been back-to-back champions in the Chiefs since that Super Bowl. So we got to start looking at Joe Burrow in a different light. Kansas City on this saying, hey, here's the headlines for Kansas City. Don't play with your food. You were playing with your food last week against Baltimore. Let the gate open. You almost got bit. You almost got snake bitten because you was playing with your food. Don't play with your food this week. Do not do it this week. Because just as much as you want to show that you are the elite team in the NFL, I'm pretty sure at some point in time that Cincinnati still wants to think that they can compete with you. despite that loss to New England. You still think come on, their mindset, I'm pretty sure that in Cincinnati, we still compete with the Chiefs. Come on, man, we hate them. They hate us. Let's go get it. You know, when you play up against teams that you just don't like, you play up. No matter how you've been looking the week before. So you can't play with your food and let Cincinnati be in this game. It's the biggest thing I got against Andy Reid. He doesn't close games well. He doesn't, and what I mean by that is when he has a team down and they foot on their necks, he doesn't know how to just go ahead and just put them out. He is not a run and score up kind of guy. I don't need the guy. Like, come on, Andy Reid, give us some blowouts. Stop giving the Kansas City Chiefs fans these cardiac arrests with these close games week in and week out against teams that we're looking at. And if you stop making the same mistakes, whether it's play calling, silly turnovers, silly penalties, and play clean football, you're like, yo, that's a double-digit win. Not no single possession or coming down to the last second. Finish the job. All right, Chicago, Houston. You got Chicago. Number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. I tried to tell y'all folks that I had questions about the guy that can read the defense and him playing against elite talent in the NFL. This ain't the Pac-12. This ain't the Big 12 in Oklahoma when you was there. I kept trying to tell people the man will have a problem beating defenses, and Tennessee gave him problems. What the hell you think is going to happen this week on the main stage of Sunday Night Football when he goes into Houston, a team that is looking to destined to be one of the final 2 teams left standing this year? I predict an absolute blowout. I think Houston is going to run the damn gauntlet on Chicago. They are going to get after Caleb Williams because he still doesn't have a good offensive line. Danielle Hunter is going to be on his back. He's going to Uncle Shay him. If you know what I'm talking about. They're going to be up in them guts. Pause. But that's my prediction. It's going to be a slaughter. Hey, they are going to beat the living dog shit out of Chicago. Because that defense isn't good. If they not get bailed out by Will Levis, that game is in Tennessee's hands. Chicago is not going to win this game. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think it's going to be a slacking. C.J. Stroud, who I predicted to be MVP of this year, I think he throws for 300-plus yards, about 3 or 4 touchdowns, and you're going to see a lot of, Dad, do it, Dad, do it. He's going to be doing the dance. Do it, do it. He's going to be doing it a lot. Be ready for it, Bears fans. I'm going to remind y'all again that Caleb Williams, with that very, very, very putrid debut he had, I don't care what nobody say, he looked like crap last week. He did not look good. He did not look good at all. Come on now. Don't try to feed me that shenanigans that, oh my gosh, no, he didn't. 93 yards on 14 or 29 yards passing. Stop it. Stop it. He looked terrible. Oh, he had a 17-yard one. Okay, he went 5 carries for 15 yards. Stop it. Caleb Williams did not look good last week. It doesn't get better for him this week. Houston dogs walked the crap out of him. Atlanta at Philly. Monday night. Well, primetime game. Win for Philly. Come on, Kirk Cousins. You just got to have this conversation, man. You had me thinking that the Falcons was going to be my sleeper team, and then you played like Dookie last week against Pittsburgh. Albeit, it was Pittsburgh. Good defense. You're going up against Philly, who actually have a solid front 7. And back end is still trash. I thought y'all were supposed to fix that. But come on, Kirk. We know what it is. You're going to probably have 3 or 4 touchdowns, but you're also probably going to have a couple of interceptions. That's my biggest problem with Kirk, man, especially when it comes to primetime games. You get a little bit of good and we get a little bit of bad. We get a mixed bag when it comes to Kirk on these primetime games. I'm trying to tell you, he goes 0-2. I don't care how much that guaranteed money it was for the next 2 years. You already know what you're going to start hearing. We want Penix. We want Penix. Keep throwing up these bad games, Kurt. It's gonna get loud. And please believe, don't think them. You think them Falcons fans won't start chanting for Michael Penix? It'll start on Twitter. We want Penix. In Instagram, we want Penix. It is gonna come to Facebook. We want Penix. In that beautiful Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's gonna be another home game, and you start playing like you did last week. We want Penix. Pressure. Hey, either burst pipes, create diamonds. You're looking real cubic zirconium right now. Get right. That's the only real issue I got with the Atlanta Falcons. It's not like they ain't got the pieces on offense. It's that quarterback play. The defense did their part last week. This is on court. This on Kirk. Yes, this is on Kirk. You got to get that ball moving. In Philly, Jalen Hurts, man, you got to cut these turnovers down, man. You at least should have had about almost 29,000 interceptions in Brazil against Green Bay. I mean, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Come on, man. I've seen you play better than this. So you got to tighten that up, the turnovers. And like I said, that secondary on that defense, man. They was getting clapped like Michelle. got cats grunting. I'm trying to tell you, that Eagles secondary is Swiss cheese. It's putrid right now. They better figure that out real quick. Because as crazy as Kirk Cousins and mixed bag he is, he can throw up some numbers. He has the weapons to throw up some numbers. And if Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Darnell Mooney and some of those other cats get going, Bijan Robinson get going, coming out the backfield and going up against linebackers and safeties, it's going to be a problem for Philly. It'll be a problem for Philly. Don't think that, that the Falcons didn't look at some of the good things that they did, that the Packers did last week. They definitely are looking at how they use Jayden Reed, because he torched y'all. He torched this shit out of y'all. Absolutely did. So Philly got to do a little bit something on that back end of the defense to get right. And Jalen Hurts got to take these turnovers down, baby. Do it. Do it. You kind of let Green Bay hang in that game because you gave them extra possession. Can't do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's my NFL Week 2 headlines going into Week 2 as it is now for everybody in America Thursday, September 12th. And so, like I said, I'm gonna keep giving y'all the good content. I gotta stay consistent. So CC, content consistency. I'm gonna try to give y'all these shows every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the same time. I'm trying not to be on CP time. So look forward for midnight Eastern Standard Time, 11 Central, 9 o'clock West Coast time. So, hey, with all that being said, you know where to find all the I.O.W. Sports Network content down below. Like, share, follow, subscribe. You want to tap it in with me personally, the KC Wildcard Mall on Twitter. That's my Twitter page where I be putting all my content. Hey, man, it felt good. Good shows this week. Y'all make sure y'all come back, tap in with your boy. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to all these social media platforms. Hey, we appreciate the love and support. Until then, go enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Enjoy some football. Enjoy some baseball. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of baseball. Hey, before I leave out of here, shout out A.J. Wilson. Now holds the record for most points scored in WNBA history in a season. That will be your WNBA MVP this year. No doubts about it. She's walking away with it. Shout out to you, A.J. Wilson. Baller. Hooper. She like that. Anyway, hey, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Until then, peace and love. We out here.
Yeah. Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mall. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Homo Delo, let's go. Man.